who you're bringing in.
Yes, I am admitting Reverend Jan Bolerjack. She is a community member from the city of Tukwila.
Hello. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
Yes. So welcome to, and thank you for rescheduling with us for your interview. We were supposed to be doing 2 interviews today. Unfortunately, our first candidate, or one of the candidates, is still not feeling well enough to join. So you are our only interview today. And after that, we will, so this is our 3rd day of interviews. And we, at the end of this 3rd day of interviews, we will be identifying up to 6 candidates to put forward as a slate to the executive board at the January meeting. And we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves, and then we will start with the process. You'll get 3 minutes to answer the 3 questions that were given to you in advance. We won't ask the questions. You'll just, you're welcome to incorporate those into your answer. And then at the end of those 3 minutes, Claire is going to shade out her screen so that we know that those 3 minutes are up. And then we'll move into a 5-minute Q&A with the panel. And that will be the end of our time today. All right. So I'm Nancy Backus. I'm mayor for the city of Auburn and also the chair for the board.
Hi, Jen. I'm Brian Davis. I'm the city administrator for the city of Federal Way, and I'm on the board for SKIP.
Good afternoon, Reverend Jan. My name is Meiju. I'm the Economic Stability Director at the Multi-Service Center and a SKIP Advisory Board member for the last 2 years.
Hi, Jan. Welcome. I'm Claire Goodwin. I'm the SKIP Executive Manager.
Hello, Reverend. I'm Dorsal Plants, the program coordinator for SKIP.
All right. Well, please feel free to begin, Jan.
All right, nice to meet you all. Yeah, my name is Jan Bolerjack. I'm the pastor at Riverton Park United Methodist Church. You might have noticed us in the news lately as we began a ministry that we did not expect. I've been here for 16 years. I've always had some kind of outreach to many different areas in our community in response to what's going on, our food bank, our thrift shop, but we've also always had homeless ministry going on. We finally got all of our homeless folks out of tents and into tiny homes on the property here. Yes, it was so cool last December, and for 2 weeks we had no tents. And then our regional partners started bringing us asylum seekers until we went from 0 to 400 the last couple of months, and started reaching out. Well, back in March, we started reaching out to our NGOs and other community groups to find out how we could strategize about these asylum seekers. So I've learned a lot about asylum seekers, learned about the plight, and also continue to learn about our resources for those folks who are not housed in our communities. And so I think I have a pretty good breadth of information about that. It is a call on my life to see people in their full humanity and work toward getting them the best possible outcomes that they can get, looking at each one individually to see what's broken, what needs some assistance, and trying to figure out how society responds to each one to provide them with dignity and a wholeness of life. So I'm going to look back at your questions. I'm interested in serving on the South King County board because South King County has been kind of left out of the conversation a lot. Especially this little city in between the bigger ones. And we don't always get the resources we need. So I'm always interested in how we can work together to serve our populations. I know we have a higher percentage of low income folks because we have the airport. We have more folks that are in transition that are looking to get settled in this area. So I'm always keen on what kind of services are needed for this particular population. And I think I have some info around that just from life experience. Affordable housing policy or strategy that I see benefiting South King County. There we go. Just more affordable housing, more shelter beds, more services. So I will let it stop at that.
Thank you, Jan. Panelists, are there any questions that any of you have for Jan? Brian?
Just just so I can get to know you a little bit better, can you give me like a recent project or example of meaningful success that you've had that you can share with us?
Well, meaningful success. It's hard to
Like, yeah, like when you have worked with so our the people that we are seeking to help are in crisis, and I know that you are I know that you work with that quite a bit, as you mentioned in your remarks. So is there an example where you can say this person or there was a family or a group of people that you worked with and they were in crisis, and then through your efforts and your organization's efforts and your partnership with other organizations, you were able to help them through that crisis? And
Sure.
yeah.
Well, we just moved 100 families into a hotel. And so that process took a lot of work to decide who among all of the folks here got to move. All the prioritizing on that. It's a success to get people out of the cold and the wet. And so, but the success also comes with providing the services. So we're feeling a lot of success around getting asylum paperwork filed and folks into hooking up with legal systems that will help them with their asylum paperwork. A lot of, I've gotten folks into treatment. We've got a guy here now who actually had a fentanyl overdose last week, and we're getting him the help that he needs. We relocate people constantly to whatever other shelters are available for them. I have wonderful children who live here, and I've added 95 students to the Tukwila School District that was having a hard time with enrollment, and now they're diverting kids from one school to another because there's too many of them. So the success of getting these kids in school and learning, I feel really good about that. Tutoring program here. We have a new tutoring program to work with the kids, make sure they're learning English as fast as they can. So yeah, a lot of successes.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I have another question. Can you share if you have participated in any like advocacy for affordable housing or participated on boards or committees? I know you're very busy, but I was just curious if that's been, a part of your experience.
Yeah, I was a part of Global to Local when they first started here in this area. And I know that ended up being more about healthcare, but it started off just looking at what were the issues. I served on the, what was that committee called from King County? Seems like it had a 1 in the name of it.
One table?
Yes, thank you. I was on that team. Mostly, and that one I worked with the behavioral edge of that, looking at how do we find the services for those who are dealing with behavioral health issues. I've been working closely with both the state right now with Sarah Peterson and NOHA, with the state, with the county executive office. I serve on the human services here in Tukwila. I've been on that board for probably 8 years. I've done a lot of advocacy work through the Methodist Church, working with Palestinian kids in Palestine, and here working on GLBTQIA issues across the area. Was a school board director. I just stepped off the school board this week. Did that for six years, looking at, you know, the education of our kids in Tukwila and giving leadership in that area. Is that what you were looking for, Maju? Okay.
Yes, thank you.
So Jan, since the members of this, a majority of the members of SKIP are cities, municipalities, what are your relationships like with the city of Tukwila? That's where you're located, I believe. What are the relationships like with the elected officials there?
Well, I put a little strain on that with the number of homeless folks we have in our encampment right now, but I meet with the police chief and the city administrator regularly. The city council, we have conversations all the time. Human Services Department, we all know each other. It's cool. It's a small town. And so we do all know each other and work together. I would say I've put a little pressure on it just because of this emergency. But before that, we were great friends, and we will be great friends again once we get through this emergency.
Great. Well, that concludes our 5 minutes that we have to ask you additional questions. We really do appreciate your flexibility and your willingness to come back to us today. I know things got a little tight a few days ago, so
Yeah.
thank you for that.
Thanks for giving me the chance.
Yeah, and we will be making our decisions, as I mentioned, with a recommendation slate of candidates to go to the entire executive board for the January meeting. And Claire or someone from our group will be in touch with you very soon.
Okay, thank you very much. You guys
Thank
have
you.
a happy holiday.
Thank you, you as well.
Thanks, Jan.
All right, that concludes the public portion of our meeting. We will adjourn that meeting to be able to go into deliberations.